What's up, everybody? This is me, Andrea Pushpangadan, and you're watching The Crazy Mess. Today, I am going to discuss about my favorite books. When I say my favorite books, these are very few books, okay? I am a reader, but I'm not a voracious reader. Like, I don't read every single day, but I do love reading. I love it as much as I love watching TV or watching Netflix or whatever. I love reading, but at some point of my life, I lost interest in reading, and I don't know, maybe it was just a phase of my life that I didn't want to read a lot. But now when I came back to my senses, I started reading again. Today I am going to share a very few books that I have read in my life. Like, I have read nearly 100 books. I was a literature student, and I don't think 100 books is that big when you are a literature student, because you are used to books, and literature kids, the struggle. Before getting into the video, I really want you guys to check out my link in my description. My link has a lot of ethnic wear, sportswear, active wears, facial masks, a lot of kitchen accessories, and much more. So do check it out. I'll link it in my description. Happy shopping! And another thing about me is that I didn't read the Harry Potter series or the series that had a lot of hype during my time. My time is, it's not like I live in a different era or something, but yeah, you know how it is. Like, now you are postgraduate and you feel like you are pretty old. But yeah, still I'm wearing this Hogwarts t-shirts, which is, I love the movie. To be frank, I love reading mythological books that are being revisited and all like that. So I have 4 books in the mythological genre. That is, the first one is, like, everybody knows about the series, like Meluha and Secret of the Nagas, like Amish, and this trilogy is great. But I don't know, I didn't like the third part as much as I liked the both first and second. I don't know if it's for everyone, but it's nice. It's not that it's not bad, but I think it could have been better. I don't know. Not a person to judge writers, because it's a different level. But this is the first book, that is The Immortals of Meluha, which talks about Shiva. So I love Shiva, okay? So I loved this one and The Secret of Nagas. Both of them are really nice. This story takes place in the 1900s, and I think it was, before Christ, obviously. And it talks about how Shiva became the god, like being a human, how he became the god and everything like that. It is the next part, like the second part of the Shiva trilogy, and this is about the Naga warriors and how this disabled people are called Nagas and everything. Like, you have to read the book to get the entire knowledge. I'm just talking about my favorite books, not the reviews or the summary of the books. So the next book is The Palace of Illusions, written by Chitra Banerjee Divakarani. I read this book recently, even though I had it for my PG. I didn't read that time. Sorry if my professors are watching this. I heard the classes, okay? I heard the classes and it was amazing. The lecturer, like the professor who taught me, was really amazing. She explained every bit of it, so I didn't have to read the book. That's why I didn't read it. I don't know if it's just a pity, explanation to, yeah. But this is actually a really nice book. I read it recently and I fell in love with how the book evolves and how the character develops. Like, it's just amazing. So if you love mythological books, like revisited and feminist kind of point of view, this one is really amazing. Do read it, okay? Final book that I would suggest you guys to read is this book, which is written by Kavita Ken, and I don't know if it's Kane or Kane because many people pronounce it differently. I personally feel it like Kane, I don't know. So her Sida's sister is an amazing book. I fell in love with this book really badly that I wrote my UG thesis on this. And yeah, I have published a paper on neglected subjectivity and blah blah blah. So if you want to check it out, I link that paper publication down below. You can go read my work. It's in the internet, you guys. You can read. I publish papers, you know. That's what literature students do. We publish papers, we read books, and yeah, publish papers if you are going to take literature. It's really useful. Yeah. So this is about the story of Urmila, that is Sita's sister, and who marries Lakshman, and how much pain she endures when he goes with Sita and Ram to the forest, and how she's been neglected in the entire Ramayana altogether. Because in the Ramayana there is only 2 lines about Urmila, and it is really sad that such a strong woman character didn't have such great impact in a book like Ramayana. So I felt like this is such a nice book to read. So yeah, this is one of my favorite books. Now I would like to talk about this book, which is The Song of the Cuckoo Bird. I read this when I was in MA, and to be frank, this is a very feminist and not a feminist. You know, people might think feminism means for women, but it's for all genders. If you don't know, it consists of men and men's rights, so don't get wrong idea about feminism. But yeah, this talks about a woman who, you know, was married when she was really young. Like when she was married, she was nearly 11 years old, and she had to go to this ashram to stay. And she gets, you know, inspired by the atmosphere, and she decides to not go with her husband, and she stays in the ashram for the rest of her life, and how that makes a huge difference in her life. She decides to stay in an ashram and finds out her identity and finds a place in this world. And this is really a very nice book which actually talks about a lot of Indianness and how our culture and everything was and how it is now. This book is written by Amulya Malari. The setting of the book is in 1960s or 1940s. Yeah, 1940s and to the present day. So it has a lot of deep connections, like emotional and, you know, about the crisis that a woman goes through when her childhood and adulthood and all, like her life entirely. So this is a really nice book. If you want to read it, I appreciate it. I don't know. No, like it's, I admit sometimes it just becomes so boring, but it has a lot of great, you know, sensibility. It talks about all this traditional Indian progress that happened in our country, and yeah, recommending it. The next book is This Great Gatsby by the American writer Francis Scott. This is an amazing book actually. Like there is a lot of movies related to The Great Gatsby. DiCaprio acted in one of them, and I think it is a splendid movie. And this book is something that talks about the age and the despair that goes through in 1920s. You know, American things happening, you know, the revolutions and everything was going on. Francis Scott's writings are epitome of, you know, the jazz age. Like I think that term itself was coined by himself. This book actually talks about love and how life was at the 90s, like not the 90s, I think 1920s. It was really, you know, a great place where Gatsby lived, like the entire mansion, and how he destroyed his life because of the love he had for this woman. And it's just a beautiful novel. Okay, I really loved it. And to be frank, Francis Scott actually was known as one of the writers of the lost generation, because there were a lot of things going on in the American setup. So yeah, this book has a lot to offer. If you want to watch the movie is nice, you can watch it anytime. But if you want to get a really good experience, read this book. This is really nice. You can buy it anywhere. This is really available. It's just 99 rupees, and I got it from Bloom's. Bangalore, and people from Bangalore know Bloom's, Church Street. Get your books there. It's just the heaven. Okay, like I got a lot of books. I always go shopping with Abhi when I was in Bangalore. We both love books, so yeah. And this is a really great book for everyone who loves reading. The next book is The Color of Milk by Nell Layson. So this is one book that I read when I was in UG or my MA first year, and I completed it in like 2 hours or 3 hours. It's a one sitting book. Like you can read it so easily because the language is very simple. First of all, it's very simple. Like you can understand it when you read it. And at first it talks about the hardships of a rural life. Gradually, when the story progresses, it shows how this woman in the book suffers a lot of things and finds out a lot of things that becomes a misery to her life. It's a very beautiful book about human feelings and how life is unpredictable, how you have to deal with a lot of miseries in your life. And yeah, the miseries and hardships, that's the main theme. Okay, like most of the writers find this amusing. I don't know why. But this is the story of the farm girl called Mary, and how her life turns upside down when I don't know, some things happen. I can't tell you that. You have to read it. But I literally had tears when I reached the last page of this book. It's really emotional, very sensitive, and kind of heartbreaking at the time. When I read it, it was really heartbreaking, but I really enjoy reading it. So yeah, The Color of the Milk. If you want, you can interpret a lot of ideas into it, like the color of the milk. The literature mind just wanders with the words. Quote Adria Pushpant. So we have discussed a lot of books related to mythology and American literature. We talked about very different topics. Now for the people who love romance, like I love romance. Okay, I'm a very romantic person. I really love romance, and I don't know, if you are into real reading, you might not find it amazing, but I really love this book, which is called The Secret Wish List. I read it when I was in my 10th standard, and till now, whenever I feel kind of emotional, I flip few pages, I read this, and I feel okay, because this book has a lot of lines that really struck me when I read it for the first time, and I have marked it also. And when I read it again, I feel like I am connecting with a person that is not in real life. It's completely imaginary, but I have this really good connection with the characters. And I don't know, I just love this book so much. It is written by Preeti Shenoy. I read a lot of books from her. It's all romantic Indian novels, which is sometimes childish to people who are really into reading, but I love it. If you think I only read writers like Francis Scott, no, I have read Chetan Bhagat, I have read Durjoy Datta and Ravindra Singh and everyone. And that's the phase of life you go through when you start reading. You read books like that, like romantic fictions. And I read it when I was young, okay, really young, 14-year-old Adira read that. Still, I love reading it as a pass of time, but as you grow up, you discover other books, and yeah, I don't know, this specs is giving me a lot of intellectual vibes, which I'm not. Yeah, this is a really nice book. I don't know, it's not about the theme of the book, it's about the lines that captivated me. Like, okay, there's one line: death is a great leveler, it changes things. Like, it's true. Like, when death comes, you realize how life is important. And yeah, and this is one of the other favorite line that I have in this book: some things are best not revealed. And after this 24 years of my life, I realized that is extremely true. Some things should not be revealed. Something has to be in your heart. It should stay there. One line really made me think a lot of parenthood. This is the final line I'm gonna read out. Parents forcing down decisions on their children, especially when it comes to marriage, using subtle pressure tactics to do that backfires. I don't know. If you're married, I don't know. If you're not married, you might get it. I don't know. It's just not about marriage. It's about the education. It's about the passions that the kids want to follow. Like, if you're a parent, I recommend you not force your dreams upon your children. Do not do that, because it's very hard for them to cope up with your expectations. If you want them to be happy, let them live a happy life without creating a lot of mess in their life. Be supportive, okay? I've been talking about this from very, very long time, and I hope you guys like this video. This has been a very different experience for me, because I never showed this side of me for you guys, because I always come up with all bubbly, things like challenges and pranks and beauty stuff. So this is another side of me which I want you guys to love. Like, I love reading. I love people who talks about books. I really love talking intellectual stuffs to people, like, cultural identity, hegemony, structuralism, maybe, like different kinds of aspects of literature and language excites me. So yeah. This is you guys never expected this from my side, but this is also a part of me. Yeah, come up with videos every Wednesdays and Sundays, so do subscribe to my channel. I come up with a lot of new content every week, like twice a week, so subscribe. I love you guys.